And hello and welcome to the Legends of the Wind podcast. I'm your host, Jurri Schenck. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is super cool. I am still in Korea and Seoul with my sister, or my wife's family. My sister just came to visit Korea for a conference, and so we're leaving in about a week from now to go back to the United States. But for tonight's show, here for you guys in the Monday night in the United States, it is super cool to have you. It's so cool because I love what we're doing here at Legends of Wind. I want to give you a preview of what we're doing. So we are pioneering a fresh expression of the prophetic, using the creative arts to kind of help people reveal their story from heaven, their identity and destiny from heaven. A lot of the prophetic stories really speak to the people's hearts that I give them to. And a lot of them in the past season have been about inner healing and about restoring something from the past, things like that. So tonight it's going to be something like that. It's going to be something really special. And my guest, Joy Renee Arnold, will be with us shortly. And her story is called Ripcord. And that's a really action-packed story. So I can't wait to deliver it to you. Now, I want to introduce this show to people who are new. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button or hit subscribe. Share this video out with people. Share the live broadcast and let people see what I do live. You know, typically, I don't know the people I write the story for. Joy Renee and I just talked before the show for about 15 minutes. And it's the first time I've ever met her. And I didn't know who she was. I got her request for a story a few weeks ago. And I write her story blind. And for me, it's always, as I said that many times before, it's always a little nerve-wracking for me because I take the risk. I do this publicly live. I deliver a story to someone I've never met before. And I bless that person. My whole heart is to encourage them, to inspire them, to give them revelation and help them discover who they are. And what we call it is becoming a legend. That doesn't mean you're necessarily famous, although you could be famous. But what it is that legends are a symbol on a map. And when you see where things are on a map and what things represent, you can kind of figure out the lay of the land. These prophetic stories do that for my guests and for the people who are watching. It kind of gives them a sense of the identity and where they're going in their journey, on their adventure. And I love doing that. I love helping people. Now, I just want you to help understand the difference between a prophetic word and a prophetic story. A prophetic word typically is, direct language. Now, there can be like symbols and visions and ideas in it, but it's usually kind of communicated like a conversation or like, this is what I see. A prophetic story is a creative work of art. It's a narrative. That means it has characters, it has a conflict, it has a problem, it has a beginning, middle, and end of a story time a structure. There's a transformation, there's a journey, and also in a prophetic story, it's kind of like dream language, dream interpretation. There's symbols, there's ideas that have meaning and hidden treasures. And my guest and the people watching have to find out what are those hidden treasures for them and what do they mean. And then when we figure that out, we can say this is what God is saying. Jesus told parables. He had prophetic parables. These were stories that he communicated, and it's a beautiful thing. And so why don't we do that today? As far as I know, and I've had other people in ministry tell me, they don't know of anyone else doing what I'm doing. So by God's grace and goodness, he's helping me do this. And my wife, Alicia, she's a prophetic artist and illustrator, and she designs things beautifully. And we work together on these creative works of art. So I want to kind of give you an idea about what is it the Bible says about what I do. So I'm going to show you some scripture here. Hold on. Okay. So Proverbs 25:2 says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings to search a matter out." Psalm 78 says, "Give ear, O my people, to my law. Incline your ears to the words of my mouth. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, telling to the generation to come the praises of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works that he has done. So with a prophetic story, the meaning, the message is hidden. It's not hidden from you, it's hidden for you. And that you give glory to God when you unpack it, when you have an aha moment, when you discover things. And the idea here of dark sayings, that's not evil. It means it's hidden in a shadow. The other way of understanding the word in the Greek and Hebrew about dark sayings and parable, it means shadowed language, which means the shadow is not the substance, but the representation of that substance hiding the treasure, if that makes sense. Now, God started all this in January 2008 for me. He said to me, "And when the time comes for you to be ushered into my presence, I will help you believe that my story and my history are sound and of good shape. The people in Hollywood will come to you for the story. Not a mere screenplay, but an understanding of the story that I'm writing. The ability to see, to understand story is vital for my church in the transformation of the culture. To know the enemy, to know the heroes, to know the quest and the stakes, to take the risks, to believe in your heart that what you're called to be and to do are desperate and necessary. These are elements that must return to the consciousness of the culture. The ability to tell stories will open people's eyes. Bring a bridge to the word and to the author. I am writing your story. I am perceiving your greatness and your sight and your sound. You will be able to walk into a room and tell people's their story. Prophecy and prophetic words will change. It won't be a mere description of their past in a literal sense, but a telling of their true character as I define it. You will speak to their past in story form, and then you will hand them their future and let them finish the parable." Yeah, isn't that cool? That's amazing. That's like revelation right there from Holy Spirit. And it completely launched a whole new thing that we now have Legends of the Wind. I started in children's ministry at that time for about 1.5 to 2 years. And I worked with a bunch of kids, and I had a great experience fathering them. Also, I started giving prophetic stories to adults at that time. That's how I met my wife, Alicia. And that journey is a whole nother story. All right, so now that I've kind of helped you understand, I'd like to bring on my guest, Joy Renee Arnold. Hello, Joy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us tonight. Would you mind introducing yourself to the audience? Kind of let us know a little bit about who you are.
Okay. I always like to say I'm Joy. Joy is what I carry and it's what I bring and what I offer you. God named me Joy, changed my name to Joy when I was, I don't know how old I was, but it was like 2007. So whatever. We will say how old I am now. Um, I don't know what you want to know about me. I have a husband, 4 kids, 4 grandkids. Um, so when I first heard about Jurri, it was through Candor All for Him Ministries, and we got the pleasure of watching him deliver a story to a woman who was in our group, and it was very, very fun because we knew her, but Jurri did not, and so it was so fun to watch him just say exactly who she is and how she functions. I really enjoyed watching her face and her expression as it went through, and it was fun to also. Um, kind of think through the things that he said that were more symbolic.
Hmm.
He talked about 3 chords, and then they said, "Well, what do you think those 3 chords meant?" And we had lots of different kinds of ideas. So that was really fun to help her get to unpack it. It was great. It was great. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we had a love bomb is what Candor called it, and we're offering these prophetic stories in this season for free. And we want to just sow into people's hearts. We want to sow into people's lives and just give that people opportunity to see how this works. So thank you very much for requesting a story. That's awesome. Yeah. So for those
I
of you
raced right on and signed up.
what's that? Say that
I
again.
said I raced right on there and signed up.
Oh,
I
that's
raced
beautiful.
right on there and signed up. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Great. For those of you who are watching live, would you mind saying hi in the chat and saying let people know where you're from? We've got Gail says hello. We're here. That's my family. Kelly Arnold, is that your husband? Uh, he says
Yes.
hello as well. And so you guys are in the chat are very important to this show. When we have our interpretation time and after you watch and listen to the story, feel free to jump in, give your encouragement, give your comments. Let us know what revelation you have about Joy Renee. All right? So that's cool. Now, I want you, Joy Renee, to understand how to receive a prophetic story. Okay? So it's meant to be understood symbolically, not literally. Now, your story has a very, very realistic sense to it. But I also want you to know there's going to be meaning in it for you to discover. The story is a revelation. Hey, Alicia. And it is also, when we have that revelation, we're meant to see it through dream language and interpret it like that. Like, what is the function of the symbol? Not to be literal. And then we have a time of interpretation. And then when we have the finishing of that, we try to find the application. Like, what is God saying to do? What is He speaking action-wise to take care of? Or is there an affirmation about your identity? Something. We just want to know what is the closing deal for what the Lord is wanting for you. Kelly says, from Great Falls, Montana. Awesome. Thanks, buddy. Cool. Now, so Joy Renee, you have power. You have a choice. You can say, yes, I can receive this prophetic story, or no, I choose to not accept this prophetic story. Or you may need time to chew on it, to marinate and unpack it, watching the replay later to see it, all of that could work for you. But that's something I want to let you know, that you have choices. Are you ready? Do you know what time it is?
It's story time.
Yes, it is. Very good. All right, here we go. Ripcord. The wild ride was about to happen for Joy Renee as the tiny airplane took to the air. Inside was the skydiving instructor, Joy Renee, and a couple other friends. Joy Renee wasn't completely sure about this birthday promise. She had always wanted to try something new and daring, but today she committed to take a tandem jump. It would be a smaller experience that if she enjoyed it, it would prepare her for higher jumps and those solo. Joy Renee simply needed to step out of the airplane. Prior to the plane taking off, the skydiving instructor showed her and the others how to properly fold their parachutes and insert them into their backpacks. There was the main chute and then the reserve. The instructor explained that when they correctly do this, the ripcord will open up the chute when they pull it. Joy Renee was especially astute to paying attention to this process. Her life depended upon it. But now the instructor explained the tandem and comforted her that all was well. She was taking stock of all of her decision making and desire to see from a greater height. The engine roared as they climbed higher in altitude to about 10,000 feet. This was the standard for beginners. Joy Renee felt the excitement and the anticipation of the whole time. The other two were her friends who had previous experience in skydiving. They had been encouraging her for years to do this, and they paid for it as their birthday present to her. Not only that, they were the film crew to document the entire event. The instructor and Joy Renee attached themselves together, and all the players got into place. At just the right moment, the instructor told Joy Renee to take a breath and tell him when she is ready. Joy Renee nodded her head, and at that very moment, they dove out of the airplane. Joy Renee screamed for her life. The rushing air was intense, and she continued to cry out. The air pressure was almost too much, and Joy Renee got lightheaded and almost passed out. She became limp. One of her friends flew over and tried to help. The instructor also worked, stirring Joy Renee into a better place of consciousness. The beginner came alive only just a little, and her friend signaled, asking her if she was okay. Joy Renee weakly gave her a thumbs up. At the right time and altitude, the instructor pulled the ripcord and their parachute deployed. Joy Renee and the others floated down to the ground. Everyone came to attend to Joy Renee and see if she was okay. The beginner wobbled on her feet and her thinking became clear. However, she regretted the entire experience. There was something not
Aw.
right about it in her mind. She was willing to try. She got the training. She even jumped out of the airplane with someone to guide her. But she asked herself, am I a true adventurer? This question and the entire time on her birthday started an entirely new season for her. Joy Renee became more cautious and was hesitant to make decisions. A silent fear had gripped her heart and coiled around it like a black snake, squeezing the life out of her. It was the root of deception. Joy Renee's career took a turn for the worst, as did her financial investments. This one experience soon entered the back of her mind and became forgotten. Joy Renee lost her joy. What could she do? One day, Joy Renee busied working on her laptop at a coffee shop on a business trip. She was trying to draft a new business report that she planned to submit to a group of investors. Joy Renee's document was full of details, and she mapped out a process for the project showing how there could be a great return. This one project seemed like a rebirth for her, and she even joked it was her Hail Mary that would right the ship financially and with vision. The inspiration for the project came from her daughter, where Joy Renee saw her working hard with clay and children. It was a metaphor for building something new. The delight of desire filled Joy Renee, and she did her best to lay out the story of her plan. However, there was that hesitancy in her heart again. She wondered where it came from and what to do about it. Joy Renee's hard work came to a head, and it was time for her to meet the investors. These people with deep pockets had heard about Joy Renee's track record and how she had overcome severe trials in her career. They were willing to test out her vision. Joy Renee had all the packets, slides, and her attire was ready for the boardroom presentation. Her heart beat in her chest, and she stood next to the screen with her clicker in hand. The investors all sat around the table, rapt with attention. As she spoke her vision, Joy Renee felt lightheaded when she came close to the closing comments, the moment to seal the deal. The dark room hid the faces of the investors. The projector's light seemed like an oncoming train down a tunnel. Joy Renee spoke with slowing speech, and the investors noticed a lack of confidence. She dropped her clicker onto the ground and stooped to pick it up. While on the ground, out of the view of the investors, Joy Renee whispered to herself to get a grip, to encourage her to have peace. She inhaled and stood up. One investor who sat close to her in the podium said, "It's okay, Joy Renee. You're among friends. Take a breath and tell us when you're ready." Joy Renee flashed back to the skydiving failure she did years ago. These were the same words her instructor gave her before they jumped out of the airplane. She remembered she was willing, went through the training, and even took the leap. The whole dilemma had repeated itself, and it was here in the boardroom. This time it was different, and Joy Renee knew that to be true. She had learned many new things over the years, and even went on a character journey. The only problem was that she didn't deal with the root of her fears. Joy Renee had a moment of revelation where she recalled a friend that said everyone has a story to tell, and that when you tell your story, you can rewrite it to heal your heart. The businesswoman said, "Thank you. It is good to be among friends. Let me tell you a brief story about why overcoming your fear can build your creativity, taking a piece of clay and turning it into something beautiful." Joy Renee explained the story of her failure on the birthday skydiving trip, where she screamed and that a root of fear gripped her. She added, "But today it's different." With enthusiasm and boldness, Joy Renee added the why to her business plan. She described the joy of creating and how her daughter's clay was the metaphor for meeting her customers' needs. The entire speech lit up the room like a light bulb. When the investors saw her heart and vulnerability and the wisdom of her plan, this added incredible value to everything she showed. Joy Renee knew who her customers were, overcame the problems they have, and showed how her business met their needs and transformed their lives. All of this was done because Joy Renee overcame her fears. Joy Renee's thinking on her feet by speaking from her heart was exactly the thing she needed to do to rewrite her history and to help be able to tell her healing story. The light of the projector no longer was an oncoming train, but it was like heaven shined down on the earth and wrapped around her like a hug. The lights turned on in the boardroom, and Joy Renee finally had a clear view of the investors' faces. They all had expressions of delight with satisfaction written all over them. Together, there was a bidding war right there in the room as they kept raising their amounts to overcome each other. Joy Renee saw this as an opportunity and interrupted. She explained that all of them loved the plan. Why don't they pull together everything and have a stronger launching pad for its founding? This idea pleased the investors, and they agreed to draft the contracts to make it happen. That day for Joy Renee would go down in the history books of her heart. She learned so much in how her spontaneity and courage helped resolve the problem in her heart in the heat of the moment. She has grown, and she will continue to overcome. On Joy Renee's following birthday, she and her friends again went skydiving. Joy Renee and the instructor went tandem, and together they leaped out of the plane. She loved falling at incredible speed, watching the view, and then floating to the ground with her parachute. Inceptio. So, everybody who's watching, I've never met Joy Renee before until tonight. I don't know her. I didn't even research. I don't even know how to research her. So just so everybody knows that as we go into this time of interpretation, whatever Joy says, for me, it's a mystery. So Joy Renee, how are you? And how does this story hit your heart?
Oh, this is my story for sure. So, yes, I was willing. I went to ministry school. I did all of this stuff to get prepared. And yeah, nothing. Nothing. Everything, and everybody's like, well, now what's going to happen? And I just kept waiting, and nothing happened. And, fear is when I went to the ministry school, it was in a place that it was all the way across country. I'm in Montana. It was in Pennsylvania. The air there is totally different. I kept passing out all the time because I couldn't get enough breath. And it just, I mean, you just went through this whole thing, and it's like, oh yes, and I have become cautious and I have become fearful because things didn't work out, and I tried and I was willing, yes, but nothing worked. And the passing out, yeah, I went limp. I actually was passing out all the time.
Really?
Well, I was oh, yes, and like I've gone to other countries on mission trips
Yes.
and pass out.
Oh.
And just like go limp, fall on the floor, collapse because I couldn't handle it. So, I mean, you were speaking exactly my life.
Wow.
And so, yeah. And next week I'm going on a missions trip and scared to death of the same
wow.
thing happening.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, in a couple of weeks. So I'm going, and I keep telling myself, it'll be different this time. It'll be different this time because lots of time has passed since I went before, and I've learned a lot, and God's healed me a lot, but still there's that apprehension. So I'm going to tell myself, yeah, it's not going to be the same this time. I'm not going to collapse. And yeah, I mean, it was very definitely there. You said certain things like, get a grip and have peace. So I do that all the time.
I saw you
like
laugh at that moment when I read that.
Yeah, get a grip and have peace. I don't say get a grip, but I'm just like, shalom, shalom, peace, peace, peace. Wrap myself in the arms of the Prince of Peace because I get up, I get all worked up and stuff. Yeah. And I love the two friends. I have two friends that have been encouraging me to take a risk, step out, try again, and like, come on, it'll be okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and I really liked being strapped to the instructor too, because I felt like that was the Lord.
Yes. Sure.
Yes. So I'm not. So I can tell myself I'm not alone. I'm safe. He's got me. He's in control. So I don't have to worry. I liked that part of it too.
Okay.
Yeah, and when people ask me to, you're supposed to say your name and then a one word after it that describes you.
Oh, okay.
And I always say, I always say I'm an overcomer.
Mm-hmm.
Joy's an overcomer. And on here you say overcame, she overcame, she overcame, she overcame. So
Yes.
that just is super descriptive of who I am.
Beautiful. Wow. So, let me ask you some questions. I'm thinking on my feet,
Okay.
okay? So, you shared some things prior to the show as we were getting set up. And
Mhm.
whatever you feel comfortable talking about in that sense, you can. But I think there's something about that part of your life that connects to this story. Is there something that you feel like that connects the dots with in any way about your testimony?
Well, like the root of fear,
Yes.
because okay, be I only share this
Mm-hmm.
because I want people to understand the incredible overcoming love of Jesus Christ and his
Mm.
power. So I don't share it to get sympathy for myself or for what
Yes.
happened to me in a traumatizing way. I share it for to release hope to people who have the same sort of struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I say it. When I was 8 years old, I was gang raped. And at that point, that twisted my personality into being something that God didn't create me to be.
Mm.
And I did not get revelation about that happening because I had a memory block until I was 27.
Mm-hmm.
No, how old was I? Yeah, 27. And rather than that being something that devastated me, I was so happy to know why I perceived life in a certain way. And so my healing journey began at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I
That's
just,
good.
God is,
Let me help you there because it talked. I have to find the part in the story. Um, you went on a character journey. It said. Also, it talked about that
mhm.
you had forgotten something. That this. I did not know you. I never knew your story. It says Joy's career took a turn for the worse, as did her financial investments. This one experience soon entered the back of her mind and became forgotten. Joy Renee lost her joy. What would she do? Oh my goodness. Does that speak to your
Memory block.
testimony? Yeah.
Yep. Memory block and losing who I was as a person. Because before that happened, I was a little sweet, charming kid. I was like, when you were in a group and they wanted to pick a child, they would choose me.
Ah.
But then after that happened, then I was a totally different person until
Mm.
God brought healing.
Mm.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. So, what else can we interpret from your story? Because I think there's a lot more. This is so good because I'm so happy every time this happens on the show when the guest shows up. Yeah, that's me. That's this, and this. I'm like, oh, thank the Lord, because I still get butterflies in my stomach. So tell
I
me,
think that's good. That shows humility.
yeah. Well, I really jump on out into the air for everybody. But God shows up. That's the cool thing. Jesus shows up for this. He'll every time. And, anyway, but so let's unpack some more. Give us more ahas. What else is hidden in here for you?
I took a ton of notes here. Let me
Yeah,
just read.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, you at the very beginning, you said that she wanted to see from a great height. And yes, that is so me. I want to see from the Lord's perspective.
Mm.
So I don't want to see from my perspective. I want to see from the Lord's perspective up there what's happening, the broad picture. Yeah. So I liked that you did that. And the start small to go higher. So this
Yeah,
little mission
yeah.
trip, this little missions trip that I going on for 1 week with my church to Mexico, this is my start small to go higher to recover from what I'd done before. So even though you said
Right,
those things at
right.
the beginning, it's still what that was happening in my mind, thinking that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool,
Folding
cool.
it correctly. That stays safe. Self protection.
Are
Yeah.
you anal in particular about folding laundry? Is that what you mean by folding correctly, or folding? What's the
No,
folding?
the fold. You said you had to fold the parachute correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So to me, that folding it correctly, I would pay really good attention to that to
Yeah.
make sure that I stayed safe. That would be
Ah,
like a
ah.
sense of fear
Yeah, yeah, got it,
and
got it.
control,
Right,
which I wouldn't want to hang up. I want to trust. I want to trust the instructor. You hadn't said I'd be strapped to him yet at that point.
right, right.
Yeah. Oh, let's see.
Let me see if I can find
Hmm.
something. Okay, go ahead. You can go ahead and talk. Um,
I'm just looking. Career nosedive. I work so below my potential. I
really?
do. Oh yes, I work at Walmart
Okay.
in customer service, and I have been super frustrated about it, but
Mm,
afraid to apply for a better job for sure. For sure, like, oh, they won't even consider hiring me. That's what I always tell
mm.
myself, so I don't even do it. What is this? She's definitely an overcomer. So that's my husband.
Oh, cool.
He's a sweetheart.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
Kendra says hi to all of us. That's great. Tell her hi back, please. This is great.
She's at the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just sorry for interrupting, but you're saying that you are at Walmart and you are wanting to apply for another job or something.
I work way below my potential.
Mm-hmm.
I constantly feel underutilized,
Mm.
and yet I hold back. I
Mm.
hold back. So I need to get over it.
Get a grip. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think a lot of this is just about trusting in the work that God has already done in my life.
Yes.
And so stepping forward and just trusting Him.
Mm.
That's hard. That's
Yeah.
hard.
Well, I think other people on my show in the past have said when they hear their story, this is a phrase they often say. They say, I feel seen. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
the Lord sees me. And so
Right.
I get that
He
sense.
knows me.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
feel the seen as well in this story?
Right. Yes. And I love the prophetic because of that.
Yeah.
Because you can just give somebody a little prophetic word and they're like, "Oh, God knows me.
Yeah.
He knows me." And your
Right.
story reveals that, "Oh, the Lord knows me," because you didn't.
No. Right.
Right.
Oh, it's
Yes.
so
So
good.
you had to trust. Yeah, you had to trust God, and then like I was so nervous.
Well, beautiful.
The
This
risk
turn.
of exposure.
Well, that's the thing. Oh, the prophet's coming to town, and I have to stop sinning, and he's going to expose me. And no, I believe God wants to encourage and inspire. Oh, wow! I'm happy for you. Um, do we have any other thing? Well, let's talk about the boardroom thing. We haven't talked about that. Like, where are some hidden
Yeah.
nuggets for you in that setting in your story? You think about it. Your story structure is a kind of a before or a problem and an after or solution. You know, the failure of the skydiving thing revealed the root issue or it caused the root issue.
Mhm.
The boardroom experience demonstrated an overcoming transformation, right? So, can you
Yes.
speak about any hidden nuggets of treasure in your boardroom part of the story or anything else that you want to share?
That's the hard part for me. I've
Mm,
always felt like there should be some kind of a goal for me to pursue or
mm,
whatever. I just don't. I have some things I'd like to do, but they're not like concrete. I don't
mm-hmm,
have enough like details. I love to teach.
mm-hmm,
I love to help people. I like to do deliverance,
mm,
those kinds of things. And I really like to input into people who are hungry for things of God.
mm,
But opportunity doesn't seem to be there. But how much is it because I hold back? My lack of pursuit of it. And God told me to begin a ministry, which I did. The willing person, yes. I began it. I did everything I knew how to do with it. It's called Joy Reborn Ministries.
mm.
The only thing I have is a Facebook page.
Ah, wow,
It's
actually,
never gotten off the ground.
there's a part
Yes.
here.
And my husband's had a few dreams about it.
Yes.
Um, yes, and we haven't gone forward in that either. So, you know,
Okay, let me
I
help
don't
you,
know.
Joy
That's
Renee. Let me help you. So, the boardroom scene took a turn for the best when you got a grip and you talked about the why,
Mhm.
how that your experience with your daughter and I don't know if you have a daughter, taking a piece of clay and turning it into something beautiful. Okay? There's something there. And then, where is it? I think that the projector light being like an oncoming train, transforming into a light from heaven, wrapping around, giving you a hug. I think that my interpretation and application, and you can say yes or no and add to this if you want to. I think God's communicating in your prophetic story, one, who you are in your pure sense, recognizing the past hardship, but now applying to the future, which simply means that you're going to have to reframe that light. That God's spotlighting you in this story. You're in front of a room of investors. These are people who have invested in you, and the spotlight of heaven is on you, and you need to see a reframing where it's not like you're going to die and get run over by a train, but you're going to see heaven come down and wrap around you like a hug. Then the whole why of the business plan, and I would say this is your ministry and your why for your ministry, which is taking a piece of clay and turning it into something beautiful. The fact that it came from your daughter, do you have children? I forget what you said. But
I have two daughters.
It's generational. You're dealing with generational transfer. And so you say a couple times in the show that you've been holding back. I challenge you. You know, when you told me that you asked Jesus about what was memory was hidden and that you had the unpacking that led to your healing journey, I suggest you return to Jesus and ask for him for revelation on what is the thing or things holding you back, because those things are preventing the vision from becoming clear to you. When you got a grip, you had the revelation, you stood up with the why, the projector lights turned off and you could see the faces of the rooms of the people in the boardroom. You could see them clearly. I believe that you may not know who your customers are or the people you're ministering to, business ministry. And that when you have that transformation of reframing, then you can see clearly, right? So it's not a train coming to run you over. It's heaven, and then you can see clearly. So I would encourage you to seek the Lord and say, I want to take this on while I have time in this life. What are the things hindering me? And then what is the action I need to take to overcome that last bit of holding back, that fear? I also believe, being here in Korea for me, a lot of my soul stuff that I didn't know I had come to the surface, and it was uncomfortable. You may be experiencing something uncomfortable. I'm not speaking negativity, by the way. You might be experiencing something uncomfortable on your coming missions trip. Maybe this missions trip to another country could be kind of like an echo, which is like the boardroom, but when you had fainted in the past, right? And that's like the skydiving failure. So when you're on the missions trip, take the opportunity of whatever surfaces. Don't look at it as a bad thing. Take it as an opportunity for Jesus to speak and to heal. Because those might be the last remaining things that hinder you, that was holding you back, that allows you to finally see clearly. Because then you can know what your target is. You had said you didn't have a goal. Well, if God is gonna painting that picture and you only have a Facebook page, then your goal and your vision's not clear. Then, like in the Bible in Habakkuk, when you get that vision clarity, write it down, right? Like talk about like who are you targeting? Who's your who? And then what are the problems that they face? And what is it in your toolbox that you have in your training to apply to help deal with those specific things that they face. And then what is the outcome that you're promising or believing for those people? And then you can make a plan. And if you need help with administration, go to Kendra. She's a very strong administrator. Or go to someone else. And then get that plan written down in an order and then start taking steps for it. But right now, the problem for you is the things holding you back are a mystery. Does all of that make sense? Does that resonate with you in any way?
Yeah, I don't think it's a complete mystery though,
Okay,
because when
okay.
I've tried to step forward before, I've been squashed and told, no, be quiet and
Ah,
sit down, woman.
that.
Getting out
Mm-hmm.
some of that. You're out of place. You're out of order. And yet the pastor that I have right now, he's totally the opposite.
Mm.
And I need to trust that he will uphold. And he does really encourage me. And every time I say, well, is it okay? Do I have permission? Because I do that all the time. Is it okay? Do I have permission? He says, yes, you have permission. Do it.
I have.
So he's being super supportive.
Oh, great. Here's
And
the
the
cool
things
thing.
that
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I,
Sorry.
I wanted to say, the two things that I felt like you said that were very helpful for you overcome the fear by thinking on your feet. So that's in the moment, speaking from my heart, and that will be the transformation rather than saying "Ugh," and swallowing what I want to say, but actually just saying it.
Mm. Good. Sorry for interrupting. There's a lag on the internet signal. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And also, I have a saying in my show a lot, and you kind of almost said the phrase. So I want to speak to you, Joy Renee Arnold. God has given you permission granted to fulfill the dreams of your heart, the dreams that Jesus has given you, the desires of your heart that have come from his desires. You have permission granted to take steps and actions and risks to see those things come to pass. Knowing that Jesus is backing you up, co-laboring, rewriting your story, and co-authoring your future. So I encourage you, you have permission to shine, Joy Renee. Joy is your name. Joy
Mhm.
is your name. Shine, girl. Let it all out. And you have permission to do this. If you're like always asking for man's permission, obviously there's a degree of truth to that. But the thing is, Jesus himself is saying, Joy Renee, go for it, girl. Like, go, do it. I mean, don't hold back. And then, like I said, go to Jesus and say, what is holding me back? What is it? Fear? What is the apprehension, the hesitancy? All of that. Um, I can't remember which part of the Bible in the Old Testament, but like the guy goes to the altar and he grabs the horns of the altar, crying out, like, I want this redemption, whatever it was. Like, you need to grab a hold of this. You really do. And you just got to get rid of the obstacles in your soul out of the way. Like a reframing. Does that make sense? So I encourage
Yes, I
you.
loved it when you said this. Like I have like heaven shining on me rather than
Yes.
exposure. More like
No.
more like this is gonna sound so conceited, but whatever. Rather than exposure, it's more like movie star. You know what I mean?
Well, man, there's a okay. So God can speak through anybody, and it doesn't have to be a Christian, right? There is a famous quote from
Mhm.
Mary M. Williamson. She's in the New Age realm, but she spoke something so powerfully truthful. She says, basically, it's like, who are you not to be beautiful? Who are you not to be great? You are God's child. You are God's daughter. And no one, she goes, acting small does good for nobody. And so I think that the religious spirit and that's really sneaky in the church hinders us because God has called us to greatness. It's not like delusions of grandeur or narcissism, but Jesus says, you are the light of the world. You are a city on a hill. You are called to shine. In Isaiah 60 or 61, it says, shine. And so the religious system, the fear, the fear of vulnerability, the fear of being seen, people think, oh, I'm just going to be a little dormouse in the church and be with Jesus and stay hidden. I'll serve the Lord in the corner. But no, God wants us to be reaching our full potential. You had said about Walmart, right? You said that you're not walking in your full potential. Joy Renee, at this moment, you're not walking in your full potential. Jesus is giving you permission in this story for you to walk in your full potential. It's freedom for you. It's freedom.
Yes.
I love it. Oh,
Yeah.
I have a comment here. So the light, let me see if I can get my mouse to work. The light is not an oncoming train. It is revealing the hug of heaven. See God clearly. Find his comfort. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I love how you said that you were excited that it was not something that exposes you.
Hmm.
When you're doing inner healing, and Jesus wants to deal with some root or a wound, he exposes it, lets it come to the surface. You manifest that part of your childhood, and it's not pretty. However, it is a moment, an opportunity for healing. So I really believe that this missions trip for you can be an opportunity for work to be done, and to also enjoy the trip too. Don't get me wrong; it's not going to be all negativity kind of thing. I'm not trying to be negative, but I want you to be aware that maybe when something surfaces, that Jesus is like, I think that's where I want to touch you right now and do some work, because what he's doing is he's still freeing you from more stuff, and that will allow you to have doors open up for more, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm at my 75%, so I'll have my 25% to go, just like you were talking about earlier.
Yes, 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 the dream, right? Right, and I'm actually speaking
Yeah.
to myself in this moment too. I really am. I really am, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard. It's hard. Um, well, Joy, is there anything else you want to unpack? Let me ask you this: like, what, in your own words, what is the application for you to do this? I kind of given you my opinion, but like, what's the application for you? Do you think?
I don't know. I think that's why I'm having so much trouble, is I just don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like you're saying, well, get the whole thing, get some clarity on it. I don't know how. So it's like, I don't know.
Okay.
I know, like, uh, inner healing, deliverance,
Mm-hmm.
those are the kinds of things that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how to connect with the people who need it.
Mm. Connect in what way? Like to actually reach them, or like what's the nature of the connection?
Right. To actually, hmm, yeah, to actually meet the people and like actually have a real, relationship connection, whatever
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
opportunity. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not exactly sure what word to put in there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I
Okay.
just try to just let it leak out wherever I'm at the moment.
Well,
That's
I
it.
think
You know.
that problem you're talking about is a logistical problem. Uh,
Hmm.
if you get your practice of what you need to do to help people in order, that's one thing. But what you're talking about is like leads. Like in marketing, it's called leads. Finding the people to come to you. So I would highly recommend you partner with some other ministers that would be willing to work with you and help you dovetail into the people that they minister to, and give you the opportunity.
And that's the problem. That's the
Ah,
problem right there.
okay.
The making the connections with people,
Okay.
like they know and they'll say, "Oh, what God wants to use you," but for some reason, I don't know. It never develops
So
into
the
anything.
dream, the story talked about the
Yes.
investors. The investors saw the value that you have, right? They started
Right.
a bidding war. They wanted to have what you have for themselves, but then you said, come together. And the language in the story says so that it could be a stronger launching pad or something, a stronger launch. So what you do is you need a team. You need some,
Hmm.
like, it doesn't have to be a large group, but you need a team of people that one believe in you and know your why, and then by that collaboration, that bringing coming together can be the foundation of the launch. So your problem is finding leads for people to minister to, but you also need the team, and these are the people who
Hmm.
says you're among friends, right? Uh, Joy Renee, your story has a lot of wisdom in it for you that I didn't like purposely create. It's from Jesus. So I highly recommend that you dissect it, like print it out, get a red pen, said this is the phrase is this, and unpack it. Because you said several times in the show, I don't know. Well, I believe that
Yep.
this is a kiss from heaven that actually can provide a business plan for you. It's not a typical business plan, but it has hidden treasures that will help you translate it into a business plan or a ministry plan, right? And so this is a kiss from heaven to one, free you in your soul, but also to help you get the nuts and bolts worked out for what you need to do or what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh, good, good. Well,
Yes. I like to really, when you said work together, because I'm totally against competition. So when
mm-hmm.
they were doing the competing bids, I'm like, no, let's just all work together. That is definitely me.
Good, very good, very good. Well, why don't we wrap it up here? Joy Renee, so you saw, is it Sarah on Canada's show back in May?
Yes, Sarah.
Sarah. So
Yes.
you saw, and now that you've gotten your own prophetic story, in a brief sense, what has happened to you tonight with this prophetic story? How would you sum it up?
Well, what I wanted out of it,
Mm-hmm.
so the why did I ask for the story in the first place, was because I wanted direction and I wanted plans to give me a purpose, a future, and a hope. So that's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that hope, that hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like I appreciate the risk you take, and I feel honored that you took the time to show me that God sees me.
Oh, it's beautiful. You're a beautiful woman, you know? I love
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad. Good. And so, obviously, what would you say to someone else who doesn't know about prophetic story? Like, what would you tell them?
You got to do it. You got to do it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Great. Well, we're going to take a quick break for our offering.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to show, after the offering time, I'm going to show how people who are able to get their own stories. So, thank you, Joy Renee, for being my guest. It is an honor and pleasure to serve you tonight. It really is. I'm glad that this story actually, I believe, can give you the direction and hope that you're looking for. We're Legends of the Wind is a ministry. It's a prophetic ministry of the creative arts. And we seek to inspire and encourage people and help them discover their identity and destiny through story. Jesus is revealing their stories from the library of heaven. And he's also re emerging into the church through us and others the idea and the importance of story. Jesus told prophetic parables. He used story to reveal the kingdom. And so part of the kingdom is you, his people. And this is what we do here is we reveal your hearts and identity and destiny as God sees you. So if you feel like that is something that you want to sow into, if you believe in us, if God is putting on your heart the idea to sow, we want to give you the opportunity to receive and to give. Thank you so much. And so we're going to take a 1-minute break or so. There's a description in the description below. There's a link on how to give, and also on the screen there's some information as well. So we'll be right back. Thank you so much for your contribution and your support for us. We are so grateful for everything that you've given, the time, the finances, mentoring us, whatever you do. We are so grateful. Thank you for your giving. For all of us here at Legends, when my wife, Alicia, my daughter, Kylie, we are believing as we build this that God's going to bless us and help us grow it. Now, for those of you who've seen this show and seen what's going on, it's amazing, isn't it? I want to show you our website right here, legendsofthewin.com. And so what we've got here is our wrong tab. This is our website. And Alicia has done the artwork and the design of this website. And here you can find out more about us. There's some videos about what is prophetic storytelling, how to receive prophetic stories. There's some amazing content and material here. We explain ourselves from a scriptural point of view. That way people know that we're not heretical or new age or whatever, but we really love Jesus, and we love the idea of helping people discover who they are. Now, for those of you who want to get a story, you can click the links here many times. It's called Request Your Story, your prophetic story. So that'll take you to this page. And here is a little video, a broadcast of Abby that is amazing. She was one of our guests, and so that is a powerful show. Abby was greatly moved by her prophetic story. And here you can request it for free to schedule an opportunity to be with me on the show live. Also, right here is you can have the option of getting a custom book illustration. I'll explain that. My wife Alicia does the artwork for these books. So like here's the cover that she did for our storybook, Legends of the Wind Volume 1. And she can design for you an opportunity to have your own keepsake of your prophetic story and some other material and journal entry stuff for a book, custom illustrated book cover. And she's done a lot of these for people over the time. And if you are interested in it, comment below and put in the word request. And if you do that, we can have you get a discount in an email. So let us know about it. All right. So let me go back to Joy Renee. There we go. Hello, Joy Renee. All right.
Hello.
So guys, thank you so much for being watching the broadcast. Thank you for your comments in the chat. Joy, thank you very much for being my guest and for being so honest and vulnerable. You're a delight to have on the show. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me. I feel honored to be here.
Great, very good. It's an honor. I will email you your story after the show. Please don't hang up. I'll see about talking to my wife after the show. We'll be off the air. But everybody, it's so cool because I thank Jesus so much for his help. Joy honored me for the risk taking that I take, and it is something I learned from the model of Kim Clement. Prophet Kim Clement, he demonstrated incredible risk taking, giving words and on the stage live, and I saw it for many years and many events. And I love his creativity. I love his passion. I saw that modeled for me. And so I knew that if Jesus were to show up for him, and I can do this with a story on the live broadcast with someone I've never met before, then Jesus can show up for me and my guest. And that's something I'm willing to do. And so now that actually has given me weight training, has built my muscles of faith. And now I'm going to take the next season and figure out, well, God, what are we doing next? And how can we grow from that? So that's kind of like my why as well. Joy, don't hang up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I wrote myself a little note that I appreciate the risk you take because your risk is your faith in action. And I just really appreciate that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Thank you for saying that. That's so sweet. Wow. So we have an outro, Joy, for about a minute or so, 2 minutes. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Thanks for your comments, and we'll see you on the next broadcast. See you soon. Bye-bye.